Well, this is one of a series now of 5 or 6 conferences which have been jointly organised by NCCARF and CSIRO. I have to acknowledge that NCCARF does a lot of the work in this and they do a fantastic job. But certainly CSIRO is very much a strong supporter of them too. I think they're incredibly important for bringing the community of adaptation researchers and practitioners here in Australia together and getting the exciting conversation and buzz that you got around here. We've been working actually here in South Australia over the last few years with some of the adaptation pathways planning at a regional level, particularly on the Eyre Peninsula, but other places as well, which has been part of, I think, a really important bit of our research, trying to understand how to do broad brush adaptation planning better. And so I was actually talking a little bit yesterday about some new principles really that we should be bringing into a sort of national guidance for how you go about that planning. And perhaps the single most important message in that is that people come into this planning process at very different levels of experience. So some people are right at the first stage of scanning their organisation for possible risks and just even getting their heads around the idea of climate change. And then from that you get a sense of what areas might be at risk, and you can do a sort of portfolio analysis, whether it's a region or a business or a government department or whatever, which really gets into what's the sort of priority and sequencing of things that you might do in different areas. And then finally you pick one of those and end up doing a real project analysis, which gets to the point of an investment plan. And understanding that there are those different cycles, even though you're doing similar things in each cycle, but you're doing very different levels of detail and using different sorts of information. That's a really valuable insight, I think, to structure people's thinking in planning.